password yet.
Oh, okay. So you can't get in the Matrix anyway, huh?
I tried to reset the password. It won't let me.
I wonder if they have a training module. Me, I'll sit over here. So I can plug it up.
And that's what it is. A private dining.
Okay. There you go. Get our stuff out. Here you go. She needs to see it, show it, or whatever. Get over here. I just need to plug it in. It's almost 8 in here.
Do we need salt and pepper?
Yeah.
Forgot my notepad. Hold on. Still waiting. But you're right, it was 12:30. Wait.
I know, see it. I saw Tucker in there, right? They were sitting there. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me in.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I'll ask Maria if it's okay to invite you to the party. And she said, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yay.
Hi, Tate.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well.
I got Miss Judy here with me.
Hi.
All right. Hi, Judy.
Hi. How are you?
Doing well. And is it Judy that's getting the training? Yes.
Both of us.
Both of us. I can.
Oh, both of you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I work with Miss Judy, consulting and stuff like that, and so she's the one that's going to be using it on a daily basis. I'm just here for support as far as making sure, or not making sure, but just if she has questions that I can help her work through them if she has, any questions about it.
All right.
And they kind of also have an idea of how it works as well.
Okay. So can one of you log into the software and share your screen? And then I could take control?
Okay, that was an issue this morning. Go ahead and tell them, Judy. I don't know.
Okay, no. I could not get into Matrix. My password is not updated and reset. Do we need to be on that screen to proceed with the training?
So can you get to it and you could share your screen and I could log in as Magic?
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I'm on my computer. I mean, is that okay? It's not a facility computer. I'm on my computer in a private in a room that's quiet.
Do you have access to get onto Matrix Care? From
No,
that computer?
no, I don't guess so. No, I don't have that.
It's
an
on my
app or-
desk, so
It's on your desktop.
on my desktop.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
we can go.
Um,
Do you want us to go in her office and then she can go into Matrix and then you can do what you need to do?
Yeah, well, hold on one second. Let me see if I could log on from here. So, okay, hold on. Let me just see if I can't log on instead. And what's wrong with your, Judy, what's wrong with your password?
It needs to be reset, but our IT is very, very busy. He didn't do it yet.
Oh,
And right now he's in a party. I don't think he can do it right now, right there.
a party?
Yeah, I know, right?
What?
We're having our the employees party today.
Oh, and you're missing it for this?
Oh no. We already went eat.
Good. Okay, it looks like I should be able to log in here. Okay, so I'll just share my screen.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
No worries. Okay, so you should be able to see my screen.
Okay.
One thing we could do, Judy, we could look at your ID real quick.
Okay.
And what's your password? What's your user ID? I mean,
J Dodd.
what is it?
J Dodd. DODD.
Oh,
There it is.
there you are. So, oh, so it says change password next log on and it expires on 6/17/24. Yeah, so you see I can't update your password. So he will have to just help you whenever he can.
Okay.
But while I'm here, let me just see what group you are in. So you're in care plan, healthcare activities, and nursing. And with that healthcare act, do you currently log on to the point of care touch charting where
I haven't done anything like that yet. I am doing
Because we were
this-
waiting for the training, weren't we?
Yes,
Yeah, we're waiting for the training.
okay, let me just make sure you have access to it. Okay, so you do. You have access to the touch charting. So that's what I wanted to double check too, just to make sure that after we hang up, if you go to try to do something, that you could actually do it.
Yep.
So I'm going to go to the test company.
Okay.
And the test company should be pretty much a replica of the live company. And then I'm going to look at clinical and then point of care and the setup first. So you don't have to like take notes on this particular spot. I'm just sort of taking a look to see what you have set up.
Okay.
So for activities, you do have it in place for group activities. And let's just look at this. Oh, so it's only PRN. So all of the residents technically should have have this set up even in the live company. Let me see if this, oh, well, maybe nobody has it turned on yet.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time to use it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Nope. There we go. Yeah. So it looks like you do have it turned on at least in the test company. It's probably a replica of the live company. So it should be pretty current.
Mm-hmm.
And then but the only difference is that your items currently are PRN. So you may want to make a change so that you could schedule it to be able to document more often than just PRN. But just to give you an example, I'm going to go to point of care touch charting. And when you log in, it would show you a discipline of activities. And then you'll have a chart by resident tab.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is going to take a minute to run. Let me just do this. I'm just going to open up another session because that build that's going on that other screen takes a lot more time than we really want to wait around for. And actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to my demo company.
Okay.
I'm going to go to my demo company and just show you the documentation option so that
Okay.
you're aware of it, because we might have to make some changes in your live company to actually make it a little bit more functional.
Okay.
And I'm guessing that you would be the decision maker on this process, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And okay. So we'll go into point of care, touch charting, as activities, and we'll start by chart by resident.
Okay.
My company should only have a few people, so it shouldn't take too long. Yeah, I see it's still built in there, so that's going to take a while. All right, that looks better. So this is just a demo of it from an activity standpoint.
Okay.
And if I were to go to, maybe it's got a few more people to build. I'm actually going to go into your live company too and just see what that looks like. So for your facility, what are your requirements for documentation for activities?
It's, participation records to make sure they can identify what they're doing. Then progress notes, the MDS, and that's pretty much it. So your daily activity participation records, your MDS, and we're in the process of looking at creating an assessment that is going to be put on Matrix that can that they can access as well.
Okay.
And there's also reports that they generate, such as like residents' birthdays, where they can generate it by, of course, month, by how old they are. Then like religious background, what their religious preference is, just different things like that.
Okay, so like in your live company right now, you have this activity interest questionnaire and you have a leisure interest questionnaire. Are you currently using those?
I haven't done those.
No.
And then there's this activity assessment. So you have a few options.
We do
that
do
are-
the initial activity assessment and the activity assessment. I haven't done that one.
Yeah, that's the. Oh, and also veteran status as well. We always want to know veteran status as well. So
Yeah.
those are reports, as far as from a documentation perspective, that we want to be able to generate.
Okay. Yeah, so you do have a couple of assessments that are already out here that can be utilized. Now, right at this very moment, they're not in production, so they're not technically functional for you to be able to start use of. But what we could do is if you have access to that test environment, we could push them to make sure you have access to them in the test environment and practice them. And then if you like them, then we could either activate them in the live environment, or if you like them but you want to make changes to it, you could still make changes to them. So there's some options in here for sure that you could take a look at. So, but let's go, let's start here in my demo company. So from an individual resident standpoint, so I went back over here. So this looks just like the nursing assistant's point of care touch charting. And this functions for touch charting. So if you had an iPad or a tablet or the kiosks on the wall, that would be the touch charting screens. It works from a regular laptop computer too. So like I'm on a regular laptop computer and I could still document. So when you first log into point of care touch charting, it's going to show you your name. It should default for you to your correct discipline. Now I'm logged in as Magic, who's a super user. So Magic sort of gets to pick and choose whatever they're doing depending on that day. So today I'll be activities. You could filter by all units. You could filter by a specific assignment, and then you could choose an assignment. So I'm just working off of Matrix Care Lane. And for activities, most likely you might not be going by short little areas of care. You might be doing the whole building and just picking the people. But that's how this sort of functions here. It's always going to default to the current day and time. And then you have this chart by resident or chart by group. So we'll start with chart by resident. Currently, in your system right this very minute, because everything is PRN, you would have to go to chart by resident. You would go into a chart, you would choose activities, and then you would, because it's PRN, you would have to choose this and create a PRN item. So that's one option. The other thing that you could do is you could turn it on so that every resident has the ability to have up to, 2 or 3 activities scheduled or documented in a day. And then you just I don't know if you do you document on, sorry. I don't know if you document on refusals, if they decided to not come, or if you just document on the people who show up.
We document for people who show up, but we also do one-on-one when they don't show up on group activities. So we visit them
Okay.
in their room and we do one-on-one activities.
Okay. So if let's just say Hazel didn't come to the group activity, so you did an independent one-on-one activity, then you would go to the independent activities and then you could say, yes, they participated. You guys did a puzzle. It was prompted and participation was active or passive. That would be like a one-on-one independent activity.
Okay.
Can you type any type of documentation about how they responded during the activity or anything like that? Like they smiled or they
Yeah, absolutely. So if I decide to create another one, when I click on this is just simply a yes or no. And then the activity, you could, and even this list that I'm showing you right now, this is my test company. Your company might be identical to this and it might be different. So, this is also very modifiable. So if you see it and you're like, yeah, those work, but I'd like to add a few more, or we do this, but we don't call it that. We want to rename stuff. You could certainly do that too. So like spiritual stuff, music, meditation, outdoorsy stuff, whatever. So you have all these different options. But like I said, you could modify your table to say whatever you want them to say.
like outings and stuff like that. You can.
Yeah, you could add anything you want in that list.
Okay.
But this note box right here, you could type in anything you want to make any kind of extra details about
Gotcha.
that encounter with that patient. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And then the prompted or self-initiated, that also is one of those that some people love it, some people don't use it. But if you like it, great, then it's there. And then participation, active or passive. And then, yeah, you could document anything you want in those notes. The group activity is a little bit different because it's a group. Instead of going to Hazel and then documenting a group activity and okay, and then back, and then choosing John and activities and group and this and yes and this and yes and this and yes. You could do this a little bit different. That one, you would go and chart by group. And chart by group, you would come to the activity, you would choose your group. You would say, yes, they participated. You could come in here and choose the game. You could say active. And then once you've chosen those responses and you click OK, then you could say Dolly came and she's good. And Hidley came and she's good. And go down through your entire list of all of the residents and say, yep, they all participated. If then you could go back in here and do the same thing for that group, but this time it's going to be a passive. And then just the people who were they showed up, but they were passive, not active. Okay. So like I said, I only have a few people on this particular assignment. So I'm sort of done charting for them because of that. But of course you'd have your whole, healthcare center listed out there. Then you could go in and do it chart by group, choose the people who are active, chart by group, choose the people that were passive. And then the people who are still left, then you might have to go in and do an independent activity for them. When it comes to independent activities, that one might be a little bit more difficult because each activity might be different for each of those people who didn't go to the group activity. So you might be better off going a different way. Or maybe you just go down the hallway and, with the independents and do some music with them or whatever. And then you could document that and then pick. John did some of that. Dolly allowed you to, come in her room and play music with her or whatever. So you can technically do that also, but that's how the group activity stuff works. You always have the ability to go chart by residence. And if maybe Dolly did an extra independent activity, you could create another one and then do another one. So maybe this time it was a spiritual pastor visit that was initiated for her. And then that's how that one would work. Some facilities for the activities department would turn on the mood and behavior tile too. That's an optional feature, only because we know that sometimes, things could occur during an activity between residents that you might have to intervene for. So that would be something that most likely would be PRN for the activities department, and you would only have to document if something occurred rather than have to document on everybody. So that one's an optional feature.
Who would we go to, say, for instance, because some of these things we're going to have to check with Lisa, the administrator, to make sure that, she wants us to have access to that. Is that something, is there somebody within the facility that does that, or is that something we need to contact you back and say, hey, can you turn this on for us? Or
yeah, so probably whomever is going to fix her access is probably the person who has access to turn on certain things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but if that person doesn't know how or needs help, then yeah, you could definitely just reach back out to me and say, okay, we love the activities. Let's get that scheduled, available for 3 activities per day for all residents. And mood and behavior, now we're not going to document that. If we have an issue with that, we'll go to the nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever you feel is most appropriate. But yeah, let me take you back over to your, this is your 51. I think that's your live company. So in the point of care, so I'm going to go clinical tab and then point of care. And if we go down to setup, we could look at your master for point of care, and that's where the activities department documentation is. And I'm just scrolling down to the activities tab. Oops, I think I went too far. Okay, so your activities group, like I said, right now it is PRN on every single chart. It's available as needed on every single chart. The problem with it being PRN is you could never document that group activity. So we would probably want to change this to, let's see, a time group. We'd probably just build a new time group for you that said activities, and then it would just be like activity 1, 2, or 3. Like, how many activities do you offer per day, you think?
It depends on which department. Like mostly we offer at least 2 activities in the morning and 3 activities in the evening, the afternoon. So between 4 to 5 activities a day.
Okay. So So, and are there some residents who come to all of them?
Mm-mm.
Or
Maybe 3 of them.
okay. Yeah, so maybe what we want to do is build a time group that's available for like activity 1, 2, and 3, or maybe we do up to 5, and we could do like a 10 o'clock one, a 2 o'clock one, and it's not actually totally time associated, but it is like we could put activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that would give you up to 5 different activities per day that you could utilize. And some residents might go to activity 1, 3, and 5. Some might go to activity 2 and 5. Like, it doesn't matter. And that would just allow you to do group activities up to 5 times per day on the system. Now, one of the other things that I just like to say when it comes to like charting compliance, usually the healthcare center would be running a compliance report on the nursing assistance documentation. So when they go to run that report, they want to be sure to filter out to just the CNA documentation requirements and not the activities, because your activities, you'll never be fully compliant, right? You're never going to document 5 activities on all of your residents every single day. So some of your stuff would just be blank and just be available to be utilized if necessary. And we don't have to do like that entire build right now. You might want to go talk with your administration team and other people that do activities with you and just sort of make a plan to talk about it. But I do like to just give you your options. Because the activity group is scheduled and turned on for every single patient right now, technically you could start documenting on activities as soon as you have a new username and password. That's functional for you. But so right now it has activity, and then let's see, your table response is, activity, bingo, active games, trivia, video, card games, exercise, arts and craft, baking, gardening, manicure. So this is your company, your list. So it's definitely different than mine. I mean, that's okay. So somebody at some point started to build this way back when, looks like 2011. Special events, focus group, visitors, pet visit, birthday party, tour, ice cream, other. So if you decided, okay, those work, but let's add in, church, or let's add in worship, or let's add in whatever, we just click on add new and keep adding to the list. And then your participation is active. So your participation edited response is totally different than mine. Mine was just active, passive. You have active, passive, sleeping in bed, refused, visitor, hospital, off unit, disruptive, not ready, and companion. So is that something that you currently do like on paper?
We don't do that anymore.
Okay,
What we have
so
right now on paper is active, passive, refused, and off unit. So, they want to participate in the activity, but they had to go to a hospital or doctor's appointment, things like those. So we just put off unit.
I gotcha. Okay. So so I would say like this table here, we would want to modify it to just the things that you guys use.
Okay.
Okay.
Like part of this, and I'm gonna have to get with her as well. But like refused, I don't necessarily like that. I mean, for the mere fact is that a lot of times they might tell you they're not going to go, but that's not really necessarily refusing. That's just making a choice to do something
Right.
different.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of an old terminology, I guess, that used to be on all the activity things. So I'm gonna ask about that one. We might be getting rid of that off of here, but we can do that ourselves. Though we can get rid of that ourselves.
Yeah, you can. You could, so you would be able to come in. So somebody should have access to modify this. This is your master table. So we would put ourselves in a modify mode. And then over here, we would just sort of delete out all of these options.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then we could fix this one now because we know that those aren't going to be used. You said for sure off unit. And the refusal one, yes. So first of all, you don't have to document that they didn't come. It's just they didn't come. So there's no documentation required.
Right.
If you wanted one that said offered but chose not to attend, but then that one you almost feel like you have to document on every single person who is in the building on that day during that activity because it's sitting out there as an option.
Yeah, but we have a situation that the family would ask, why is my parent not attending? We want them to know that it's on the record that we offer it, but they refuse to. So how are we going to show to them that if we remove the refuse option?
Maybe what she talked about, offered but chose not to come or whatever. So
Yeah. So we could do we could do a D stands for did not attend, like offered, did not attend.
Preferred not to attend or something like that. So
right, and you, like I said, you could change this. I'm just sort of giving you some ideas of how that would look. And that way you have active, passive. Oh, it's A, P, O, or D is going to be your only options. Oops. Yeah. And then same thing with that. So that participation, whatever you decide to do with this activity, if you're going to do it up to 5 times, and that time group would also change to that new time group for up to 5 times, and that's scheduled daily for all patients. And then this last one is duration, and then we could see what you had for your options under duration. Do you track time?
No.
Or do you want to do the one that we had, which was just active or passive participation?
Maybe just
active or passive.
Yeah, so hold on, let me go back to mine real quick. So we have so see, my group is a little bit different because it says, did they participate? If there's a yes or a no. And if I choose that and I say no, then those two become not applicable. So yours was built a little bit different where you're just going right into the item. And that's okay. We just want to make sure it's going to function for you. So if we don't need to answer the question on this duration, then I would say, let me just click out of there for a second. I would say that if you have just your activity and what it was, and then your participation, which is active, passive, off unit, or offered and did not attend, then you don't need this duration.
Okay.
So if you want to just completely inactivate this duration, then we could inactivate this duration and it just won't become a question anymore.
That's fine with me. Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just get rid of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes That makes sense. So this'll just remove it from all the charts right now. Okay, and then under our one-on-one, let me see. So we have resident one-on-one group. Let's just see what that looks like if it's on the charts as PRN. Yeah, so you do have a totally separate resident one-on-one activity that's available as needed. So that one, you would just choose patient, choose that item, and then check it off. And then that's given you all of those tasks. Listen to music, showing pictures, walk outside, read a story. And again, this list you could modify.
And there's still ways to make a note. Say, for instance, if they're listening to music, you can make note of that as well, correct? Like that they...
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
If they're listening to music, there's a way to show that, they tap their hands, they mouth the words, is there a way to show a response related to that activity on the one-on-one?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So your resident one-on-one does have a resident response to that one-on-one activity.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that, let's see what it has as your options. Yeah. So no response, opened eyes, made eye contact, followed, smiles.
And so you can tailor it. If there are other things, you can tailor one and add it, correct? I mean, add a new one if you needed to, say if...
Yeah, you could. Yeah, so like this says, I think this is supposed to say held instead of help. So let's just fix that.
Okay.
Held object in hand. Looked at pictures, listened to story, moved arms and legs, sang song, played game, hit balloon, took drink. Yeah, so you guys have quite a few one-on-one responses for those residents. And then individual activities, same thing. You have the activity puzzles, reading, electronic device, TV. And then this one, same thing. We probably want to modify this one to just those. So if they're doing an individual activity, you would say active or passive. Because off unit wouldn't happen because you're documenting that the individual activity actually occurred.
Unless you're doing something like if you do an individual activity and say the resident wants to go outside by himself or by herself, and you might, like in a minute, I'm fixing to go to the dementia unit or the memory care unit, and there's a resident back there that wants to who likes baseball and football, and so we're going to go back there and throw that. So we might do that out in the hallway. We might do that in a different location than his room, but it still consists of a one-on-one. Does that make sense? I guess.
But the participation for that would be active because he was playing ball with you.
Right. Oh, I thought you were talking about just off a unit. I thought you were talking about, did we need to specify? Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, in that whole group. I got you.
Yeah. This is the one that you had for like the main group where they didn't come or they weren't available because they were not in the building.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So this one-on-one is simply just going to be active or passive.
Gotcha. I was thinking it was going to be an additional thing that says off unit. It was active or passive, then off unit kind of thing. Okay. Or on unit or whatever. So. got another question while you're erasing that. Do you have, is there like a training module that if there's questions, we can go in there and play with it, or for training purposes, it can be, you can go in there and kind of, go around it and everything, navigate it that way you don't, you're not messing up anything. Is there a training module for Matrix that we have access to?
Right. And you should have access to that demo company that I was just showing you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where you would want to make your that's where you'd want to test it out to make sure it's functional. I'm actually making some of these basic changes right now in your live company, only because you have all this stuff already turned on. And if you're going to start looking at it or talking with your administrative staff about utilizing it, I don't want all the stuff that really wouldn't function for you to be in here. So we're sort of cleaning that stuff up, like this duration. Now, what about duration for an individual activity? You don't need that, do you?
What do you think?
That's the actual minutes that you could.
Not well. I guess you can keep it in there because there are, like, for instance, if you have a resident who has short attention span and an adaptation for that particular resident could be that you did multiple short activities, so you would want to show that, okay, this resident's attention span is really only 5 minutes, so I spent 5 minutes with that person, but I did it 4 times throughout the day or something. So that might be beneficial for a resident who has a short attention span, and that is an adaptation for that resident, because then it will have to mesh with the care plan to show that if I have a goal for that. So yes, to answer your question, as I'm talking through it, that would probably be a good, that might be good to have on there.
For 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so if we go now to, I'm going to exit out of the master ADL care master, and then let's go to sorry, it's like really slow. POC touch charting. I won't save anything that I touch here. I'm just going to sort of show you. We'll go back to the test company. It's like really sluggish. I don't know what's happening. Come on.
It's Friday. It's ready to go home.
Oh, I know, right? I know. I keep looking at my clock like, how is it only noon? What is happening? I feel like I've been working for 12 hours today.
Well, if it makes you feel any worse, it's already 1 o'clock, almost 1:30 here. So we're ahead an hour ahead of you. So we'll think about you at 4:30 when walking out the door. So I'm just messing with you. I'm picking with you.
Yeah. Why is this stuck?
Now, where are y'all located?
I'm actually in southern Utah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Y'all get any snow over there?
No, we're in the desert. We're living in the desert, so we don't get snow.
I got you.
There's some snow in the mountains surrounding us, but we don't it doesn't really hit our property very much.
Oh, okay.
It gets cold though. Like this morning it was like 28 degrees when I got up.
Oh,
wow.
It will be that way on Thursday here.
Yeah.
It says we're going to get snow.
Oh goodness, I'm so stuck here. Let me do this. Let's go this way. And this way. Okay, so it looks like I got kicked out of that other live session. So let's see if that actually built that. in the test company, because we could make some of those changes in the test company. And then do you have access to the 951 company?
Nope.
You don't.
Mm.
So that's the test company.
Yes.
951, is it the actual number of companies?
No, it's just a,
Just a code.
yeah, it's just the code.
Because let me ask you this question. I mean, do y'all have like a screenshot type thing that shows, like in case they get stuck, it's kind of like, just a guide?
Guy.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that there's one specifically for the activities department, but there's certainly one for point of care, which would be the same
Okay.
same thing pretty much, right? So I could forward it to you. Do you guys have access to the community? Have you ever logged into community?
I was before. I did that before.
You did? Well, so so there'll be videos you could watch. There's different guides you could download. So yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. So in this test company 951, your activities only has access to this activity. And I had said that it's only PRN. So when you click on it, and I'm on Brenda's chart, I would have to choose individual activity, create a PRN, check my boxes, click OK, and then I could answer my questions. So this is a replica of your live company. So right now it has puzzles, reading, electronic device, or TV. You might want more options than that in this page.
Okay.
And I know I'm going to ask this multiple times because, okay, so say for instance, we check because they won't, when state comes in, but also just for resident care, you want it to be very specific. If you put like electronic device, is there a way to go in there and notate that, hey, okay, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
they
you
went on a
could
virtual
put
tour or a,
tablet.
listen to music, listen to gospel music or whatever. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you could type in anything you want there.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
And then participation. So, and I don't know that we even want to keep it the way it is, because I sort of think instead of A for active, P for passive, maybe you change it to look like this, where it would say active, passive. I don't know. And then a duration. So we did that for 15 minutes. So that's our individual activity. Let's try chart by group.
Let me ask you this one though, on the duration part of it. Do you have to put that for everybody? Because like if they just do the activity, the activity, I usually don't put the duration. It's just again, like might have some residents who have the short attention span. I mean, is it going to close out if you don't check mark that?
Well, that particular question is only for one-on-one individual activities.
Right. Okay, but that's my question though. If you happen to not check mark it, is that going to be a problem? Do you have to do that in order for it to save, or?
Oh, no. It's not a requirement.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it looks like I'm stuck again. It is so Friday, you guys.
I hear you.
Okay, let's go back over here. I'm just going to keep jumping from company to company, see which one works. Look at this is totally stuck.
Yeah.
How crazy. Yeah, it's just going to kick me out. Yeah, so you see, it got stuck because it's not going to let us do an activity by group because they're only PRN. So that's going to be really important that you guys make that change. Yeah.
How do I change to from PRN to daily or by hourly? The hourly.
Yeah, she was going to show.
Yeah, like up to 5 times per day, I think is what you're thinking. Right.
Can I do that, or the ones who's in charge of the whole matrix
That's
do
all
that?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, we could make the change if you want to make the change. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to make the change, we can make it right now. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, this session was meant for you guys so that you
Okay.
could start
Okay.
We're
documenting.
probably just
Okay.
gonna change
So-
it now.
Yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, that way, as soon as you get that password, you'll be able to start doing it in the live company.
Yeah.
If it wants to cooperate with me, we'll find out.
Come on,
And
computers.
give that guy some time to get his clothes on and stuff. No, I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Oh my gosh. how
I'm
silly.
just picking with you. I'm just going. I know the elephant was in the room a minute ago.
I'd be
so I
like,
was
Carla.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Carl. I thought it was Carl. My bad.
It was a girl, yeah.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
just go put some clothes on.
I'm just picking. I know I've been on Zoom calls before, and all of a sudden, boom, a message will pop up. You're like, did that really occur? Did I really just let that go through? I'm just picking with you. I hope you're not offended by it.
Oh my gosh, not at all. I was on a call. I totally thought I was on mute, and my husband had got up really late. I'm like, oh, nice of you to get up out of that bed, you lazy. I don't know why I probably said lazy. Whatever I said, and they're like, whoever's talking to their husband, you're not on mute.
Oh, that's pretty awesome right there.
All the funny stories because of Zoom.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Especially when you're working from the house during COVID and all of a sudden you're on a Zoom call and you see somebody that they didn't block the view from the waist down and they're like in their shorts or something like that. They got like a dress
I
code
saw
on or
that.
something,
And then they stood up and they forgot to turn it off, and it was still there.
They got
Everybody-
shorts on. Yeah, they got shorts on. I mean, nothing inappropriate. It's just got shorts on. It's just funny because you.
With a suit with shorts.
So funny. Okay, so what time would be your first one? Like 9 or 10?
There'll be mostly
You be with your
there
calendar?
is 9. There is 9.
You be with your
Yeah.
calendar?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you. Yeah, there's 9.
And then do you want, so between 3 o'clock and 11 o'clock, do you want 1 or 2 to fall into that time frame?
2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then we'll do 9, 11, 1400, 1600, and then 1900. But what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put activity 1, or I won't even put 1. I'll just put activity. That way it's not associated to, well, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. Well, we could change it, I think, if we don't like this, but I think this will make more sense. That way it's not time associated on it. It'll just say activity 1, 2, 3.
And then when you go and document the participation, it'll let you select what activity it was, right? If that's
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, so activity. Activities daily. Record participation of any activities if chosen. If other
If other chosen document.
Notes.
Oh, if you chose the other, okay. Okay, so that is that. So that's actually updating our charts right now.
Okay.
You're going to be so excited to come to work on Monday to start working on this, huh? How many people are in your department?
3.
Four, including
I'm
her.
the 4th one, yeah.
Okay. So you won't have, you'll be able to, like, you don't have to show them any of the build stuff. You'll just be able to take them right to the point of care touch charting, take them to the group, show them how to do group, and then show them how to do individual stuff.
Okay.
Awesome.
How many patients are in your building right now, or residents?
We have 26 in assisted living, 11 in memory care, and 20 in long-term care. I can remember how many we have in rehab. I'm so bad with my area.
And then assisted livings.
Yeah, assisted living is 26 in
Oh,
total.
okay.
Yeah. But if it's full house, it's 32 for assisted living.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now census is that.
But campus wide, it's how many?
Campus wide, like the whole, I have no idea.
Okay.
Including independent living?
Yeah.
Oh my.
How many?
I don't have any idea, including everybody.
This place is huge.
Just
Yeah.
the independent living is like 300 people over there.
Some of these campuses are just unbelievable. Yeah, it's amazing.
Now, do you travel all over the country?
Yeah. And, with COVID, we hadn't traveled, right? We were all just sort of stuck at home. And just probably in the last 6 months, people have started letting us back in to do some on-site stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. I went into business myself, consulting, and then that's what happened. I got shut out during COVID. So, but I've actually got to started going in for about a year now. So,
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
That's probably our signal.
oh, I just said that I know what you're talking about. I had the same. I'm in business for myself as a consultant, and I got shut out of the facilities up until about a year ago. Might be losing, huh? Is that what that is?
Mm-mm. It's just cups.
Are those real cups?
Disposable.
Really?
Fancy.
I know. Mine's styrofoam. The cheap ones, if they're too hot, it melts the styrofoam.
There's a reason why Shirley's so nice. So every time she feels like she want to quit, she's like, I'm going to hold on in here.
I talked with her a little bit a second ago, and she's like, you know what? I'm enjoying it. I'm like,
She's enjoying it.
I'm just picking with her, Yeah.
So I'm changing this to a table response instead of that edited response. I think it's gonna just read a lot better for you guys. But if if we don't like it, we could change it. But I think you'll like it.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Oop, got kicked out again.
Shame
it
on
is.
them.
It's so, man, we need to go
Like,
early
I need a
weekend.
nap. Maybe it'll work better later. Okay, and then we're gonna do activities daily.
So the time is that doesn't mean that this is the only time we can chart that time there.
No, so Miss Judy just had a good question. This doesn't mean that at those times the only times you can chart. Is it?
No.
You can chart,
Nope. You'll see 3 on day shift and 2 on second shift, and you could do them whenever you need to.
So
Okay.
just basically just allotting that slot so you can do whatever you want to, right? I mean, you can document.
Right.
I got you.
So if I miss documenting at 9, it will still make me do it later, right?
up. You're breaking up a lot.
I'm sorry. Like for example, I missed documenting at 9 o'clock. Will I be able to document later?
Yeah, yeah, and we'll walk through that.
All right.
We'll show you what it's gonna look like.
And I want to clarify something as well, just to make sure I understand it. What you said is that because it doesn't require us to document at those particular times, or we might only have 4 activities that day instead of 5, to let them know when they pull a report that it will make sure that they filter activities out, because it will show that we're not in compliance. Is that correct?
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I wanted to make sure that I
Yeah,
that I understood
and
that correctly.
And they, let's see, so 7, 8, 9. So, and they probably already do filter, to be honest, but I'd just like to bring it to their attention so that there's no question.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm doing this in the test company too. I know you don't have access to it right now, but we definitely want to be sure that you get access to this in case you do have to train people. Like, most likely somebody has access to it and could get you guys in and utilize this. But
Is it a separate username and password, or is it?
it's not.
Okay,
No.
awesome. Because I did a lot with Point Click Care at other facilities I go to, and everything is like a separate. It's separate, so that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, nope, it's not.
Gotcha.
Okay, so activities, table response. The other thing here, again, this is your live company. So the activity, this table response, this list, you may eventually want to add more to it.
Okay.
Okay, but you always have the other as an option if you're not hitting what you're looking for.
Okay.
And that's fine to utilize that. But if you find that there is something that you do on your current calendar that's not in this list, then we just add it.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have to just double check that. And then individual activity. This one too. See how they only have puzzles, reading, electronic device, and TV?
Okay.
But when you are looking at this, they've got beauty shop, computer, caring friend, Copeland Oaks. What is that?
I'm not sure.
Because Copeland Oaks is actually a skilled nursing facility in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Is that you guys have a sister facility there?
Not to my knowledge. I think this is basically a standalone facility, so it's.
Yeah, so I want to get rid of this.
Okay. Whatever.
This is guidance, and that's not guidance. The
Right.
table response for an individual activity needs to be modified. So I'm just going to totally delete this.
Okay.
And then, oops, so I say and it didn't delete. Okay, let's try that again. Delete that. And then this table response, what other activities, individual activities do you offer or do you see the residents doing?
What other individual activities do you see them doing? Let's see. Crossword puzzle or word search. I guess that might fall under puzzles, but word search, talking on the phone with family.
Okay, so
know.
phone call.
Or just
Zoom,
visiting with family. Yeah, Zoom call.
FaceTime.
Yeah,
those
FaceTime.
Video calls.
Yeah, video call. What else is some other things that you see?
for activities,
for like individual, like
individual activities.
so I know they do the device, electronic devices. They watch the TV.
Music and memories.
There you go. Music.
Yes, we do music.
Listen.
You do have music and memories.
Listen to music.
Is music and memories one, or do you want, what would memories, what would that, or is that just something you call it, music and memories?
Yeah, we call it music in memories. We kind of created that program over here. So we create a playlist for that specific resident, and then whenever they want to do to listen to their playlist, we can bring them the iPad and the Bluetooth headset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In memories, music in memories.
Oh, in memories.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, let me go back. Okay. And then I wanted this gone. I think it.
Yes, sorry.
Now, for the individual activities, you don't want this to be act 5 times a day. You want this to stay PRN?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah, 'cause
sense.
we would like to encourage them to participate in group activities as much as they can.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, we'll leave that one PRN.
Okay.
And then I'm going to modify that participation to a table response. So it just says active and passive.
So when the assistants do their charting, their daily charting, that does that mean they have to create their own username and password
For who?
for the assistants, for the activity assistants?
Do they not have it? Do they not have one?
Not yet.
Oh, yeah. So
So they have to have that access.
yeah, they need to have access.
Okay.
And that I cannot do for you.
All right, that's okay.
Um,
I'll have IT do that.
yeah. This is your test company. I'm just trying to keep up with that one so that you can. Okay. All right. And then this individual duration, you said, yes, we're keeping.
Yes.
And our options are, I think we could get rid of refuse though, because you wouldn't be documenting unless they participated some,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Can I
ma'am.
delete that refusal?
Absolutely. What do you think?
I think that is absolutely correct.
Okay, so 15, 30, 45, and 60 for individual activity would be their option there.
Okay.
And if we have
Okay.
to, well, maybe add a 5-minute just in case you do have somebody who has a short attention span,
Yes.
and that's what you have to do. I would add something like 5 minutes, just to, if that's cool.
Okay, so like or we could do 0 to 15.
That'll work. And then if we need to say, okay, well, this person has this, has a short attention span, we can put in the note that we did it for
2 minutes.
2 minutes, exactly.
Yeah, so you could do 0 to 15, and then we could put document in notes.
Okay.
That way they'll see that we want more detail.
Be more
Okay.
specific.
So resident one-on-one activity, that'll stay PRN. That one is a little bit different than individual, right? Because that would be when you're spending the time in the room with them the whole time.
Right.
Okay. So then you have social sensory cards, exercise, hands-on project, read, walk, Bible, music, pictures. This list has got this 10. Is that good for now? Do you want an other?
Yeah, put other.
Yeah, that way you could always just type in whatever you did for them.
Because we can put everything we can think of, but there's always going to be that one time.
Yes, there's always.
Yeah.
It's not going to fall in that category.
Where you got to learn how to play pinochle or something.
There you go. There you go. Exactly.
Okay, perfect. And then this table response for the one-on-one. You got this quite a big list here for that one-on-one stuff.
One-on-one, okay.
Okay. Waved arms in air. Aw. Oh, wait. What did that say? Oh, took drink. Okay. Sang song, played game. Okay, I think that one looks good. And that's PRN. And then our resident sensory. Do you need this? Do you want this? I don't know what was being documented here. I've never used the sensory one.
Well, I mean, I guess from a resident.
So right now, it's not on anybody's chart.
The sensory.
Okay. I mean, we could, if we probably wanted to capture sensory stuff, we could put it under our notes, under either an individual, under other probably, and we could, if it's a group, like a small group for residents with, that are lower functioning, we could make a sensory group on that one too, correct? I mean, so I would say if we could do all those things, get rid of that one, I guess.
Yeah, we'll inactivate it in the live company, so it's not even an option for you.
Okay.
And then we could make sure that it's available to you in the test company, that if you think of something you want to build, then you could build it. But right now it's not on any of the charts, so we're not taking anything away anyways.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that looks really good. So let's now go to point of care touch charting. See if this is more cooperative. There we go.
Look at that.
That's
We're smoking,
moving.
man.
Huh?
Go to an assignment. So I don't know what these assignments are. Do these make sense to you? Care base 1, care base 2,
Yes.
and healthcare.
Yes.
So when it comes to you doing an activity, is all of skilled residents? Are you doing them for assisted living? Are you doing them for everybody?
Yes, we have different activities assistant for each department. So
Okay.
yeah.
So let's look at, let's go to, I'm just going to choose this residential healthcare and see what we get. And then I'm going to go to chart by resident. Let's see. Okay, so that didn't take too long. That wasn't bad. And then we have our activities, and you have an activities group. So you see how it has activity 1, activity 2, activity 3. That's what you're going to see because it's day shift. So you have up to 3 times where you could document.
Okay.
And then at 3:00, when you come in here, you'll see activity 4 and activity 5.
Okay.
Okay. And then if I go to chart by group, now we could do an activity, and then, hold on one second. That did not do what I wanted it to do. hold on one second. Let me chart by group. I wonder if chart by group is not turned on. Yeah, okay, let me go look at something. That all looks right. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that should fix us. That should fix us. Let's try that one more time. Okay, so then we'd go, we had a bingo game and we were active, and we'd click OK, and then you'll pick your people.
The next one. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You click like Anne came, and then is it doing it for all of those? Darn it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm really struggling with why this isn't doing exactly what I want it to do. Because I don't want all of them to say that. But it looks like it's doing it for all 3 of those items.
So let me ask you this. I know while you're thinking about that, can you, so say for instance, like Ms. Judy said, you have one person that's over like assisted living, and you have one person that's over memory care. Can they sort out while they're participating by just those, or is that how it is sorted out?
Yeah, so like right now, what is happening? Yeah, so based on that assignment, so
And when you mean by assignment, are you talking about that that area?
this right here, this
Oh,
assisted
okay. So you could do a okay.
memory
Gotcha.
care.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's good.
so
That's good. That's good.
whoever's in memory care, it would show up just for memory care.
Okay.
If they did an activity in assisted living, you would go all, or you could go by floor.
Okay. Now I have a question, if it's okay. Do we still need to do paper reporting when we do this?
No.
No more paper reporting.
No more paper reporting.
Okay.
Once we do this.
Okay.
This will be now, and that's one thing too. Are there reports that you can pull to say, okay, I want to know if somebody says, well, I want to know who attends all your
Activities.
your activity, but I want to know, okay, bingo, because I want to see, okay, do I need to keep this on the calendar, or is nobody interested in this? So I want to pull it, and there might only be 2 residents that attend it. So that might be something we get rid of, or it might be, wow, there's a bunch of them that attend it, so we're going to keep this on the calendar. Is there a way to generate reports such as that?
So that particular report that you're referring to might be a little bit more difficult, but you can run a report. Like if we did, let's see, if we go to clinical. we could build a new report for activities and
also one
conti-
for like an individual perspective, because that might be the biggest one, because they might say, hey, this resident, you know, we didn't see her out of bed during our survey process. We want you to show us what she's been doing.
Yeah.
Can you generate a report that shows maybe just that individual as well?
right, yeah. So this report is a little bit different because it's going to give you any any activity that was in use over the month. And I'll get rid of the participation piece of it, but that would be one option to like run a report for that. And what that's going to do for you by having that built, now it's not going to get us anywhere right this very minute, but you will have the ability to look at, and we'll go to daily charting. The POC daily charting, what that does is it gives you your residents, and then it gives you everything that was documented in touch charting. So for us, we would be able to change our template to activities and refresh it. And then we could see her activities on day shift. She participated in one item.
Okay, awesome.
And can we print that?
Yeah, yes, you
Okay.
could print it, but you could also do like all shifts because you'll have stuff on second shift too. Now, Ann Adams, this documentation was an error because that was me training. So
Uh-huh.
I want to fix it.
Okay.
I want to fix that because I don't want people to think that I was working in your system on that day. So we'll go fix that.
Okay.
And I'll show you how to clear out a status. If I click into that box,
Which one?
I could clear it.
Clear.
And then it's blank, and then it's
Okay.
okay, and now it's blank.
Okay.
So that's how you would clear a response. You don't have to come here. I mean, technically, you could even document in here if you wanted to instead of the point of care. You could go by day, and then you could document.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So it's gonna give you the details of the activity.
Right, because I'm only documenting on the activity page. But if I didn't want to do the template, I'm sorry, let me change that.
So if you did something like that, is there a way to scroll through each resident? Or would you have to go out and go back in each resident?
No. Yeah. So if I went to activities group and refresh, and it's today,
Okay.
right? Then I could document here and pick bingo and active. And then if she did a second one, I could do trivia and she was active. And then I could just move to
Oh, okay. I see them now. Okay, I got you.
to Elizabeth. Yeah. And I could also change it by, this is alphabetical. And if I like my unit numbers better, I could change it by unit number. And then I get Nancy and 1100 first.
Wow. Okay. That is awesome. That is awesome.
So this is just another way to document. This is called daily charting. And for your activities department, this might be easier than going in through touch charting. But you should know that both of them are functional. Whatever you document here would show there. It's like a shared table. It just sits on the page different. But this is a great report just for review. So if you went to a care conference meeting and you wanted to see Anne, and you wanted to see, like, just as an example, her bath days. And then we could see that she's taking her baths. Self-performance, support provided, did it occur? So if there was any refusals, it would be a big R in here for a refusal. But you could click into that box and you could see what they wrote.
And that's for a whole month then, huh?
Yes,
That's
yeah.
pretty
So
awesome.
I was at day view and I wanted to just document, but you could do month view
Pretty awesome.
and see
You
where
just pull your
they've been.
report and see
Yeah.
this is what they're anticipating in. Do we need to do one-on-ones? Are they good at what
Exactly.
they're? Yeah,
Yeah.
So when we do like a monthly assessment of the activities, let's look at the report.
exactly.
So
When you're documenting, you
This,
use do that.
this resident is not participating a lot. What we can do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
you see what I'm doing here is I'm just looking at specific items. I went to skin condition. I could go to bowel function and I could see if she's having bowel movement.
So is it okay if a family member asks about the activities of their parent? Is it okay to furnish them, print the report, and give it to them, or that's a HIPAA?
Well, that would be a Lisa question.
Uh-huh.
Now, if it's, I would venture to say, if they're the responsible party, that might be okay. But if it's like the second, and a lot of people you might see a lot of times, they come up here, but they might not be a responsible party. So we do that, then yes, that would fall. But check with Miss Lisa, because sometimes when it comes to documentation, there's like a formalized process where you have to request it
'Cause,
and
yeah,
all this kind of
some-
stuff. So
Sometimes family will complain that our mom said they're bored, they're not getting enough activities, but then in actuality they were offered, but they keep on refusing. They don't want to
Gotcha.
go. So we want to be able to present to them the report that
Right.
we were doing activities.
exactly.
We went there at a certain
That you
time.
are- right.
But yeah.
That you offered them. And like she put in there,
Yeah. So now I'm just looking at eating. So I could see meal percentages, fluid intake. But yeah, so this is a great tool, especially for care conference meetings, just to be able to look at, how they're doing with ADLs, how they're doing with eating, if they're refusing any of their showers. Yeah, tons of information you could look at here. So that, and again, like I said, you could technically document in here. You would just go to
That's pretty
activities by group.
And did this existed back in the days? Why didn't do it? I mean, why did it do? I mean, this is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's always been here and it's just
Yeah.
been not utilized.
And like you were
are
pointing
you talking
to
about on
us,
Matrix?
Yes.
Because y'all had Matrix for a while then?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay,
Did
I
you
didn't
see
realize.
did you see the 2011 date?
Yeah, it was
the
built in
year?
2011.
Really?
They've
I
been
didn't.
having this.
Okay, well, I heard her say 2011, but I thought that was like a default date or something like that.
No,
Okay.
someone set up something in 2011, but they didn't follow through.
Wow. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
that was just like a default date. You know how some programs will just have a default date of 2000 or 2001, and it'll.
Someone did try to use this before, but
Wow.
So, and then on this page, you could also see that she's in her look back period. So
Oh,
that
okay.
just, this is her
Oh,
assessment
that's the
reference
7
dates.
days. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it basically does it for you.
remember?
Yeah, so daily charting and then touch charting. So I'm just curious, like this chart by group, it's not letting me only do, like when I want to do this, it's doing it for all three of my
Yes.
items due today. So that's why I'm thinking the other way might be better for you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever you think is better.
Yeah, and you'll have to, I think the biggest thing is that you'll have to play with it and decide what's easiest. Or let's do this. Let's go to chart by item and then do activity group. Oh, yeah. See, no, it's not letting me do more than one of those items at a time. That's sort of frustrating. Well, okay, I say it's frustrating, but it might not be that bad because you could say, you could go one and choose, or, put her bingo down, and then put bingo, 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 and then go back and do active or passive for each person. And then you don't have to go back and do it the other way. So you're still clicking it twice, no matter what. Yeah. But I don't want to press any more buttons in the live company.
Okay.
I don't want to document on all of the live people, but we could, make sure you guys get access to that test company, and then really go through and pick all the different ways to do it, and just sort of decide what's going to be the easiest.
Okay.
Because you have chart by resident. So that one, we know how that one works. That's pretty simple. I think she still has documentation out here someplace. Yeah. Let me clear these responses real quick. Clear it. Okay, so now she has nothing. When I go back to this page, I'm logged in as activities, and it says that you have 6 items available per person. Activity 1 with participation, activity 2 with participation, activity 3 with participation. If you came in and answered the question for activity 1, it would show us 4 out of 6 items left.
Okay.
Okay, so that all items do, there's 6 total for the day shift and 4 total for the afternoon shift. If she only comes to one activity, then she'll always have 4 items due every single day if she only participates in one. And that's okay. And that's why that charting compliance report that I was talking about is so important. So for the healthcare center nursing administration staff, or the frontline nursing staff who tracks this, when they go to the charting compliance report at the end of their shift, and we'll run it on Care-Base 1 first shift, they need to change this to discipline of CNA, and then I'll uncheck show item detail, and I'll hit refresh totals. So it's 2:00 there, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
And for the day shift, they have 47% of all of their items documented on the day shift.
Okay.
So before the staff go home, they still have 40% more documentation to complete on Care-Base 1.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's what this is showing us. If I go to Care-Base 2 and I hit refresh totals, they're about the same. Maybe they got a little bit more documentation done. But that will allow the nurse to verify that the CNA stuff is done before that person goes home for the day. So by 2:00, I'd be on the phone with my nursing assistant, or checking on my nursing assistants, like, yo, you still have a lot more documentation to do. If I click on one of these buttons, it'll show me who still needs it done. So there's still,
Gotcha.
7 more people who need that documentation done.
Okay.
But that gives us the total number required and how much was completed.
Okay.
So this is a great tool. But like I said, if I did activities and refresh, we're going to be at 0.
No
And
one's
we don't want
reporting.
our stuff to get in the way of their stuff.
Okay.
That's why it's so important that they choose their discipline.
Okay.
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 So you could just make sure, if you could, to
And
double
that's
check
called
that.
charting compliance review.
Yep.
Okay.
And that is under clinical and then point of
EHR.
care.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's for the one you showed us that we could actually document in as well, the participation records.
That's the daily charting.
Okay, where would that?
This one here.
Okay.
POC daily
Okay,
charting.
POC daily charting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
What's POC?
And then here, so you could see I'm on
Point of
all
view.
skilled residents. I could change that and look at assisted living and refresh. Now they might not have any documentation. Oh, so that's interesting. So did you say you documented memory care and assisted living for activities?
Not in here.
Not in here.
Mm-hmm. We've never used
Because
it
right now
ever
the only
before.
ones that have it turned on is the healthcare center side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So only healthcare center side documentation could happen in activities right now. Now, if you decide to change it and you want to do some stuff in assisted living or memory care through this point of care touch charting, then we'll have to make some modifications.
But everything else we can, like memory, like, okay.
Okay. So do you have any questions? I mean, we went through a lot. We made a lot of changes already, but as of right this very minute, clinical, point of care, touch charting, activities, choose your assignment, and you could start documenting chart by resident, and I could do her activities.
So say that again. Clinical,
Point of care.
point of care,
Then choose their
charting, activities charting.
Yeah, I'll go backwards.
Okay.
Yep, so it's clinical, point of care, and then either POC touch charting or POC daily charting, whichever one you like better.
Or daily. Okay.
And then once you click in it, it should default for you to activities. It should know that you are discipline of activities. But if it doesn't, then you could change this.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure you're set up for activities as their discipline.
Okay.
And then choose your assignment. So I'm not sure what the difference is between the all and the residential healthcare. Oh, are those three different floors?
Yes. This Care Base 1. Care Base 1 and 2 is between rehab and skilled. And then Care Base 3, they're long-term care patients, residents.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then
So in that case, then you might want to use the all skilled residents. And then you'll see probably a larger list. And also, what is that? Why does it say her stuff was documented? Oh, one other thing, you could get to daily charting on an individual chart or from that page into this screen too. So that's also just another nice feature. Activities. Okay, I just want to make sure there was nothing documented on her. Actually, I bet you the resident one-on-one, that particular task might also have, the CNAs might also have access to do one-on-one. That's my guess. Only because, like, they might do one-on-ones, right? If you had someone on isolation or something, or behavior or something like that, they might actually do one-on-ones and document. The other thing on this page is it's by resident name or by unit number. So if you like it by unit number instead, you could document by unit number.
Okay.
And then this is admitted residents only, so you could do admitted residents only. And then this, you have an all, and then you have a not yet charted. So for activities, you probably wouldn't matter because you only have a very few things that you have to worry about. But for the nursing assistants for point of care, once they're done with somebody's chart and documented everything, they would just fall off the list.
Okay.
So you could use it if you want to. It probably wouldn't really help you that much unless you had a ton of people who went to 3 activities every day. Let's see. Chart by item, activity. Yeah, so this one, like I said, if you click on that, you could pick your activity and then go document on each person. And then the next one, you'd have to go pick your participation and then document on each person. But it's all activity 1. Yeah, so that's an option. I'm just not sure. I think until you're actually pressing the buttons and touching it to see which is the quickest way for you to get the documentation done, because you don't want to spend all day documenting.
Right.
But the test company, so would you, if could, just whomever your IT person is, it's going to reset your password. You want him to add. Oh, you do have it.
I have access to the demo.
Yeah.
She went companies. it
Okay.
showed.
Oh, so I'm going to fix this right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will give you, when you log on to point of care, it will default you to activities. So you don't have to do that.
Okay.
Were you going to check using MDS or?
No, only
Okay.
because most of the buildings are set up that you have all access to the MDS regardless of your role.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And if I gave her activities only, she might not be able to get in to do even anything at all because we don't have that set up separate from social work versus nursing. Yeah, so she should be
Gotcha.
good with that.
Okay. What about you said there's ways we can look at generating reports when it comes to birthdays, when it comes to like veteran status.
Yeah. So what you'll want to do is when you're on this page, before you do anything, you can click on this button that says all reports.
Okay.
And when you're on this screen, now keep in mind that I'm logged in as Magic, and Magic is considered a super user, so I have all access to all reports.
Right.
You might not have the same access. So we want to be sure that, like, if I show you under this resident info, you see that there's a diet list. Activities
Okay.
should absolutely, they should be able to run a diet list to see if
Absolutely.
they're serving up birthday cake, they need to know who could have it, who can't. But here's a birthday list.
Okay. An age list.
And there's an age list. There's your veteran report.
There's veteran report. Okay.
Yeah. So when Judy gets access, if she doesn't see, now she doesn't need to see all of these because there's a lot in here, and I don't even touch half the stuff that's in here. But we want to be sure that she could get to this one, and this one for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
What else did you say you were looking for?
What about care plans? Because eventually she's probably gonna have to do care plans in the computer if that's the direction they're going. How do you get to care plans?
Yeah, so you would start from this chart.
So clinical EHR, is that what you're looking at?
Yep, so I went to the big red shield and that gets you into an individual chart.
Okay, clinical EHR. Okay.
And then you could pick your residence. So it's defaulting to, it usually defaults to last name.
Okay.
But once you're on this page, my cursor is always going to default to the beginning of the first person's last name. So I could just type in S to get to the S's, or whoever if I'm looking for Adamson, I could type in Adamson and find her.
Oh, okay.
Or you could just scroll.
Okay.
When you're on this page, if you have access to all residents active, or you could go by assignments and then choose an assignment.
Okay.
So that allows you to, limit who you're seeing on that page. But then you'll click on this blue arrow to open up that person's chart.
Oh, okay. So it tells all their vital
Yeah,
signs
so this banner up here sort of follows them everywhere they're at. So no matter what you're doing, you always have this kind of data.
Okay.
You always see the last set of vitals that were completed. You have a menu option, and that's going to open up the actual charts.
Okay, and there's your care plan. Okay, and there's your MDS.
Yeah, so I took you to point of care touch charting for the whole entire building earlier from that left side menu, but you have access to that same stuff right here.
Okay.
So if I just wanted to document on Shirley, or if I just wanted to view Shirley's charting, I could go here to daily charting, and then I just see Shirley's stuff.
Gotcha.
And then you see how when I opened it, it defaulted to that discipline.
Right.
So if you wanted to look at stuff that the nursing assistants do, then you would change that from select to all disciplines and then refresh. And then I see everything that's been documented on Shirley throughout her entire stay.
Okay.
Or this month. So tons of reports, right? So you could separate it out by a specific item. So if I wanted to look at, like I said, bathing and bowel movements are probably the biggest ones that, we have to check when we're having conferences with families, and meal intake is probably another one. Let me look at CNA and see if that refreshes. Okay, there she is. So she's a second shift bath.
Okay.
So I changed my first shift default to second shift or to all shifts, and then I could see that.
Okay.
Okay. So that is point of care daily charting. I could go to touch charting and I could document just on her.
Okay.
If I wanted to. Instead of having to go through that whole page and try to go find the point of care and all the people and then find her, I could technically just go to her chart and do a one-on-one or individual activity.
Okay, gotcha.
Care plan is right below.
Okay.
And this is her care plan.
Okay.
So it's always going to sort of start, the first 20 items are based off of the MDS,
Okay.
based off the cause. And so if I scroll down, number 10 is activities. So her care plan had not been updated. You see how it has those little brackets in place there? So if I were to click on that, it wants me to answer that question. She either has potential for altered activity or is at risk for social isolation. And I would use this drop down to pick which one is appropriate for her.
Okay.
Or I'm going to say most appropriate for her. Now, if I were to say, if I were to click this and I click next, it's going to ask me why is she at risk? and then I would type in my reasoning.
Okay.
That's to that one's just a manual response. So I hit cancel because I don't want anything to
But you can
save.
make them person centered though, right? I mean,
Yeah. So once you choose that, then you could go in and modify it.
gotcha. Okay, and you can do that
Yeah.
on your goal and your approaches or your interventions and all that as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, like, provide her with her calendar. That's a no-brainer. Everyone's gonna get a calendar for them to review. And then you have this past interest and present interest. So if I clicked on that one, I would be able to say my past interests, her past interests are blank. And then I would click next. And my present interests are blank. And then I would click next. And then, of course, you could add anything else you want. You could arrow down to make another approach and then free type in anything you want.
Okay.
Or you could come up here to this add PGA, which is add a problem, goal, or approach.
Mm-hmm.
Other items that may be pre-built in the master care plan that's available to me. So by opening the problem, the goal. So this one, there's nothing else. But you
Right.
could see that she's got a lot of options. We've got quite a few activity type related care plans.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could come through this list and go, yes, this applies to her, so I'm going to add it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you would just like, I'm just trying to like pick that approach or goal, and then you could pick as many of these approaches as you want. And once you choose them, then you individualize it for that person.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's getting into the activities care plan. You're always going to start, the system is going to always build this very generalized problem, goal, and 3 approaches on every single admission. If this doesn't really apply to her, like this doesn't work for her, you can delete it and not use it, and then pick your own problem, goal, and approach from this list.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now, if you wanted to, I don't know if you have a care plan that you use currently on paper and you sort of like the way it flows. Instead of building it from scratch on every single chart, every single time, you can update your master care plan. So just like that point of care stuff that we were just modifying,
Mm-hmm.
you have the same access to the master care plan under clinical care plan, setup, care plan master. And then in here, oops, sorry, hold on. Let's go to this MC rack. This is the care plan that you want. And then under category number 10, these are all of those things. And if you wanted to build something, you would just do a plus sign, do a problem, type in your new problem,
Okay.
add a line, build your own problem, goal, approach. Yeah. So you have the ability to build on to your own, but we did give you quite an extensive care plan that's available to utilize.
So it's to add a master, you go to clinical.
Yeah, to go to the master, you're going to go clinical EHR from the left side menu,
Care plan.
care plans, setup, and then care plan master. And even if you, like, if I go back in here real quick and go back to that category, you see how this first problem has a checkbox to use on admission.
Mm-hmm.
This goal is on admission. And then this approach, and approach. Those 5 items show up on every single chart. So if you don't want one of those to show up on every single chart going forward, you would also come back to your master and just uncheck this box.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to add another approach, that something that your activities department does for every single admission, then you just F4 to add a line. Or if like this approach doesn't really work for you guys, you could just modify it and delete this and just type in whatever you want.
Okay, and you modify it by
So you always want to hit the pencil
hit the pencil.
to get into modify mode. So whenever you're in here looking around and just pressing buttons to see what's going on, you're just in query mode. But if you see a change that you want to make, even if it's something as simple as a basic misspelling, then you want to put this pencil in place, and that'll put you into modify mode.
Gotcha.
And then you can make all the changes you want.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think we're about at time. I definitely think that we might need to get back together after you get your access, just to be sure that we're where we need to be. And then once you get a chance to talk with your other team members, they might have other thoughts or ideas. But I'll let you do your thing on your end, and then you reach back out to me if you decide that you want to move forward and have another conversation. If you feel confident and comfortable with what we've done so far and you're good to go, it's not a problem. You know, if you, whatever you want to do, I won't be offended if you don't want to meet with me again.
No, I mean, you've been
if
very
you
helpful.
don't, that just means I did an excellent job and you totally got it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, right now, technically, you guys could start documenting.
Okay.
Sure.
And then there's might be a few things in this 951 that's a little bit different. I could try to make sure that I, change. Let's go back in here. And this is number 13. So activities, yes, that's fixed. Yeah. Oh, this isn't fixed. So this is the participation one I just wanted to fix in the test company. Oh, I fixed it there. So that looks right. I just want to get rid of this. They don't need that. And then this is activities daily.
Okay.
And then this is duration is garbage. Yeah, so then your test company will look just like your live company.
Okay.
And then you could really press the buttons and, document. You could do whatever you want in the live company because you're really, as long as it's real stuff, right? Don't document nonsense if you're not really doing those, those things. That'll get us all in trouble. Yeah. Any last questions?
I have none so far. And yes, definitely I will reach out to you if I feel like there's another need for training.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. And if you want to make modifications and just don't remember how, reach out. Yeah, just ask your administrator or make sure you let your administration nursing staff know about that charting compliance report, just to be sure that they're defaulting to CNAs only. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, you have my email. So if you need me, reach out. If not, Merry Christmas.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Merry
I
Christmas.
hope you enjoy the documentation.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.